What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, check it out. We are less than a week away from Avatar: The Last Airbender live action hitting Netflix. What is it here? February 22nd. That's the release date. So in a couple of days, we will be able to watch this for ourselves and see what's going on. But we do have some early reactions. And look, unsurprisingly at all, critics share mixed reactions to the live action show. This is on the direct, of course. And listen, we all kind of expected this just based on the information that was coming out. We expected that there was going to be some sort of a mixed reaction. It's not going to be One Piece, where everybody is praising this thing from coast to coast, all over the world. Everybody's like, yo, One Piece was dope. All right, give us more of that. And that's the thing when it comes to Netflix. When it comes to these anime adaptations, for live action, you never quite know how they're going to come out. It could be One Piece, or it could be Death Note. Or remember Cowboy Bebop? Yeah, the director said he couldn't even get off the first episode. What's his name? Shinichiro Watanabe. He couldn't even get out of the first episode. He's like, man, this is trash. I got to pull the plug. So it could be one way or the other. And what we saw with One Piece was, yo, this is the formula. Keep the original creators on board and let them run it. Let them tell you what's going to work and what's not going to work. But what happened when it came to Netflix and Avatar: The Last Airbender? Yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender creators quit Netflix live action adaptation over creative differences, the two-sided creative differences with the streamer. Yeah, good old creative differences strikes again. You know, like you should be listening to the creators. There should be no creative differences, all right, when you're talking to the creators. When you're talking to the people that absolutely made the thing that you guys are adapting, there should be no creative differences. What do you guys think we should be doing? That's what we're about to do. Again, that's what made One Piece successful. Eiichiro Oda had the ability to stop everything in his tracks. He had full veto power. Oh, this ain't working. Nah, that gotta go. Okay, yeah, whatever you say, Mr. Oda. We're going to do exactly what you want. And that's what it should have been when it came to Avatar. Yeah, but that's not what they did. They pushed on. The creators left. And then what did we start hearing recently? Oh, man, there's all kinds of stuff going on. They changed a lot about the show. Sokka not sexist no more. Katara might not be the overbearing mother figure. They kind of toned her character down a little bit. Now, to their credit, they've been trying to come out and correct some of that stuff. Yeah, this is on metro.co.uk. Avatar: The Last Airbender star sets the record straight after fury from fans over his sexism row. So they're saying, yeah, no, don't worry, guys, okay? Don't worry. Sokka's still sexist. We haven't changed his character that much. Where is it at? He made this comment here. He says, yeah, I think that the essence of the character of Sokka is 100% the character that is portrayed in the live action version of the show, he said. I think the fans are a little worried that there's going to be changes in who Sokka is, and I don't really think that's been the case at all in our show. Obviously, it's different from an animated show to a live action in those ways, but the heart and soul of the animation show is the breath that we're all playing into. And then he says, yeah, Sokka's attitudes do evolve as time goes on. So, I'm starting to see this statement right here, when they say, well, obviously it's going to be different. I'm starting to see that as somewhat of a red flag. Okay, we all know it's going to be different. Animation versus live action. I think people just inherently know there's differences with that. Why do you got to point it out? See, the fact that you pointing this out, that sends up a little alarm. Like, well, why are you trying to point out it's different? We all understand that it's different. What we're looking for is faithfulness. We understand that there will be differences. We want faithful to the original, okay? As close to the original as humanly possible. And in my opinion, there's no reason to take out certain aspects of characterization. It stops becoming the character. When you pull out Sokka's sexism or you try to dilute it in some sort of way, you're taking away from who his character is. Now we don't know how it's all going to play out. Okay. I can see you guys in the comments already beefing and woofing. Settle down. Okay. Chill out. We're going to go ahead and get to it, but let's go ahead and read some of these first reactions to the live action show. With February 22nd release date of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender around the corner, reactions and reviews from critics are starting to arrive. All right, so let's see what the first person has to say. This is Collider's Mike Thomas proclaimed that it is fantastic, also noting how the actors feel like Team Avatar. The first episode of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender is fantastic. From the opening scene, you you realize that this is far better than the 2010 film. The fights are great, but the standouts are the actors. These kids feel like Team Avatar, a fun new take on a timeless classic. All right, so that's a good one. This is Joshua Yell from IGN, echoed that same sentiment, while also sharing that this take is more dramatic, mature, and violent than the original. The first episode of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender is pretty incredible. It's more dramatic, mature, and violent than the original. The best part is what they add to flesh out and enrich the story we already know, like showing the Order 66 of the Airbenders a great start. See, I don't know, man. I know I'm going to get some reactions to this, but do we really need to see the Order 66 of the Airbenders? How many people were really looking for that? You know, maybe a brief moment, you know, like, okay, show a brief scene, firebenders going up against airbenders, and then we know what happens. You know, it's told through the story, through the original story. We can all put two and two together. I don't know if we necessarily needed to see an Order 66 of the Airbenders, but, you know, he liked it. I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. I'll let you guys know, of course, once the show drops. Let's see. Anthony from the Movie Podcast praised his faithful visual adaptation, but admitted it stumbles in cast performances, narrative, and philosophical depth. Interesting. Avatar: The Last Airbender Episode 1 dazzles with its grand scale and vibrant environments. Fans can rejoice in its faithful visual adaptation and stylistic action sequences, yet it slightly stumbles in cast performances, narrative, and philosophical depth. Excited on how season 1 ends. So, yeah, it seems like this is like something that they wanted to make sure looked the part, but is it going to be the same story? Is it going to read the same? It might look like Avatar, and it might have the same visual and stylistic flair. Okay, cool. But, you know, what's the narrative? Because ultimately, all of that stuff is just smoke and mirrors unless the story is great. If the story is great, we'll love all the rest of it. But the story sucks, then guess what? This just becomes smoke and mirrors. It's something to distract you from the fact that the narrative sucks. You know, and then the philosophical stuff, that's definitely a part of Avatar: The Last Airbender. So yeah, they got to get that stuff right. Critic David Opie shared that episodes 1 and 2 are pretty decent, but there are definitely issues. See, look, I saw issues coming a mile away. And everybody was in the comments like, nah, bro, you're not giving it a shot. Okay, all right. We're all going to see on February 22nd. Avatar: The Last Airbender episodes 1 and 2 are pretty decent so far, and I say that as an obsessive fan. There are definitely issues, but it's better than the controversies would have you think. If you're open to it, you'll have fun, but if you've already made up your mind, you'll hate it. See, I haven't made up my mind. You know, I haven't made up my mind. I am open to a good, faithful adaptation, put it that way. If it's faithful, I'm good. But if it's not, I'm going to call it out. I'm saying this ain't faithful to the original. This is a downgrade from the original. It should enhance the original. Think about it. Any adaptation you're doing, you already had a book, you already had a TV show, a cartoon, whatever. You already had the original. Anything you're doing on top of that should be to enhance it, all right? To at least get it, nail it, you know, at least on its level or better. If it takes a step down, then what's the point of it? You might as well just go ahead and stick with the original. The original is better. Now, I understand something like taking it from a book medium to like a, you know, cinematic or cartoon or television show. That's a difference, okay? Because you're taking the written word and you're putting it into, you know, scenes with music and dialogue and all of that. That's a different story. But if you already had like a cartoon and now you're trying to adapt it to live action, I mean, in my opinion, you got to take it to the next level. Because animation is a lesser level than live action. So it has to immediately go up. And if it doesn't, you blew it. All right. That's just how I look at it. Rama Screen claimed the episode was spectacular, praising both the cast and the visual. So I guess some people saw episode 1 and some people saw episodes 1 and 2. That's interesting. Netflix Avatar: The Last Airbenders episode 1 was spectacular. This live action version has done the old animated show, of which I was a fan, incredible justice. The cast was terrific. The visuals were remarkable. And Gordon Cormier Ang is a revelation. So I'm starting to wonder because I'm seeing like the one person that's kind of like, you know, or maybe the 1 and 2 people. Like this person said there was some issues. This person said, yeah, he saw episodes 1 and 2 and saw some issues. But some of these folks who just saw episode 1, or at least commenting on episode 1, seem to think that episode 1 was great. So I wonder if the issues don't really start until episode 2. That might be what we're looking at. Ren Geekness showered praise upon the project, exclaiming, "The cast brings to life the characters and dynamics in all new ways. I can confidently say I fell in love with the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender all over again. The cast brings to life the characters and dynamics in all new ways, forging its own path in this fantastic story with compelling characterizations, breathtaking world building, and action." All right, so he liked it. You know, he seems to think that it is doing something, bringing something new to the franchise. It says here, IGN writer Rafael Montemayor wasn't nearly as positive, blatantly saying that the first episode is a huge letdown, consisting of too much exposition, poor writing, and horrible pacing. Ooh. Okay, that ain't a good one whatsoever. Let's see. He says, I am finally allowed to say that the first episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender is a huge letdown. Sure, the bending looks great and generally the visuals are solid, but this is a mixed bag of an adaptation. Too much exposition, poor writing, and horrible pacing. Dallas Liu rules, though. So, this person said the same thing the other guy said. The visuals are there. So we got good visuals. That's not going to be the problem with this thing. And I know that was a problem with the M. Night Shyamalan, the 2010 movie. Like, the visuals were absolute garbage to go along with the way he was telling the story. Complete garbage. It was like a person that really didn't understand what made the show great, tried to adapt it into a movie, wrote his own thing, and butchered it. You know, but here it seems like, okay, at least we got the visuals right. But he's also saying, well, poor writing, horrible pacing. And this is the death nail of any adaptation, any TV show you want to talk about. If your writing is not on par, and if the pacing is bad, if it's too slow or too fast, yeah, it's a wrap. Nobody's going to be feeling this. A film critic, Sean Bowman, also noted the abundance of exposition while reinforcing how this show is still much better than the live action version of the property. Well, that's not going to be good enough. Just to be better than 2010 isn't a bar that you should be trying to set. You know, it's got to be better than 2010 off rip. So if that's what you're trying to compare it to, nah, that's not going to work for a lot of folks, okay? We expected that. As someone who grew up watching the animated show, I thought episode 1 of Avatar: The Last Airbender was a solid start. It's a lot of exposition, but Gordon Cormier is great, and the visuals are quite good. Certainly much better than the last live-action version of the property. Yeah, I mean, it better be. You know, it better be much better. That's a given. Let's see. Journalist Kristen Maldonado stated that while it isn't perfect, there's a spark of something special here. You guys you're starting to see the red flags, okay? People are saying it's not perfect. People aren't raving about it. Oh yeah, the visuals are solid. It's good. It's off to a solid start. Like that kind of stuff. There's a spark of something here, but it's not perfect. There's some narrative issues. There may be some pacing issues. So you're starting to see that there's some problems here. And when you go back to remember that the creators walked their little tails right up off the project, you got to start asking these questions. Why? What was going on? Maybe this is some of that. So y'all can get mad in the comments with me. That's fine. I don't mind that. I enjoy the, back and forth. But just think about this. Because this is where we're at. We're still going to have to wait and see, but this is where we're at with it. Now, Avatar: The Last Airbender isn't perfect, but there's a spark of something special here filled with humor and heart. It's amazing to see so many indigenous and Asian faces on our screens. Dallas Liu is a star. Ian Owsley has the best lines, and this is my fave Amber Mid-Thunder performance. I'm not sure who that is, but okay, yeah. Again, some humor and heart, that's definitely a part of Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I'm not going to rip this one apart too much, but just to say, yeah, to keep saying, there's a spark, a little spark of something, that don't necessarily fill me up with a lot of confidence, just to be very honest with you. The streamer writer Caden Reed shared that they definitely can see how some may not like it as much. Ooh, all right. I really enjoyed the first episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm getting a better understanding of why they made certain changes. I definitely can see how some may not like it as much. Some of the bendings visuals are slightly off. I hope to enjoy the rest of the show. So he's saying some of the visuals are a little bit off. I mean, it ain't going to please everybody, obviously, but that's an interesting comment. Two-Letter Mo was notably rough on the project, explaining that the show feels in a rush to get somewhere and feels completely isolating for new viewers. This was the other thing that I thought One Piece did very well, and I was wondering about this, all right? How about people that have never seen Avatar: The Last Airbender before? They have no idea what this thing is. How is this going to come off to them? And we saw, if you watched a lot of One Piece reactions and, reviews, people were like, yo, I had no idea what One Piece was. This is amazing. This is awesome. I'm pulled right into this world. I want to know more. I'm there. And people are diving in. It created a whole new fan base of people that now go back and watch the original One Piece animation, right? They go back and they watch the anime. How is this going to do for people who have never seen Avatar: The Last Airbender? That's just a show for kids, and that's how they see it. Well, how is this going to come off to them? And, you know, it says here, hey, it might be isolating for some new viewers. I can only give thoughts on episode 1 of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender, but yikes. The show is in a rush to get somewhere and feels completely isolating for new viewers, paying lip service to beats from the animated show with very little care. You'll know if this is for you and this is not for me. Well, I mean, look. This thing might be a train wreck. This thing might be great. It's definitely mixed reviews from some people that have watched it. Now, how are we, the general audience and the fan base, going to take it? That's a whole different world, okay? Because I might see this thing and be like, yo, man, this is even better than One Piece. Or I might see it and go, yeah, man, I'm pulling the plug on it. It's over. No season 2, no season 3, back to the drawing board. You know, I might look at it that way. But it sounds like so far it's very mixed. Some people love it, love the visuals, but at the same time, these guys haven't seen the whole thing. So even the people that have given kind of the mixed reviews, like, hey, I'm not so sure, they haven't seen the rest of the episodes. At most, it looks like people have only gotten 2 episodes, and this is going to be 8. So, you know, we'll have to see how this thing all plays out. But there's a reason why I was nervous, okay? And some of these guys are starting to confirm, yeah, there's some issues with this Netflix adaptation once again. But we'll have to see how it all comes out. You guys let me know what you think. Are you nervous? Are you excited? Does this stuff give you a moment of pause? Or are you saying, yo, man, I think it's going to be great anyway. I can't wait to tune in. I'm going to binge the whole thing the first day. You know, I might actually do that. I might just binge it like right away and just give my immediate thoughts, you know, on that, you know, as it comes out. I think it's 8 episodes. It is 8 episodes. And I think each episode is somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 minutes to an hour, you know, so that's about an 8-hour watch, you know, with some time for a break. You know, we'll see what happens. But you guys let me know what you think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.